Welcome to this lesson. In this one, it's going to be a case study on actually doing a brainstorm. The example we're going to be using is creating content for surrounding the topic of buying a home. So kind of following up with our customer persona that we saw in the last section. I'm going to be using Trello because it's what I currently use and I really like. As I mentioned in the last lesson, you can feel free to use any sort of tool that you want. Simply a Google Doc or a Microsoft Word doc or even paper and pencil is perfect enough for this doing a brainstorm. So with a brainstorm, I'm really just using my own knowledge and my own interest as my own customer to come up with ideas. So here's Trello, and you can see that I have several of what are called boards. So on each board, if I click into one, you can see that it's set up into different lists. And then under each list, there are different sort of what we call cards on Trello. So let me go to a different one. Let's go to YouTube tutorials. So here, I've already started to do sort of a brainstorm for YouTube tutorials. And so here you can see just ideas that I've written down. And then I have other lists, and you can set this up however you want. But see how I've set it up where on the left-hand side I have ideas. And then over here I've set up list for where it is in the process of creating this tutorial. So I have if the intro has been recorded, if the tutorial has been recorded, if it's been edited, if it's been approved or ready for upload, and then if it's been scheduled on YouTube. And I have an assistant who works with me on these, and so we can both work with Trello. We can see exactly where each project or each content is in the workflow. And that's the beauty of Trello, is you can really set it up how you want. This is the Japanese Kanban style of production, and it's basically that I've set up with this board, which is basically being able to move a card from one to the next as you work on it, and that really helps me be more productive. Here's another example. So here's the photography and friends board. So here's my to-do list. So I have one list of to-do. This is just content that I want to create. These are courses that I want to create. I have competitions. I have lessons that I need to create. And here I don't necessarily have a structure of where it is like in the process of creation. It's just here's the idea. Here it's been completed. So there's so much that you can do with Trello, but I'm just going to show you the basics if you want to get started. So I'm just going to create a new board, which you can do just by clicking the plus sign. And I've downloaded, this is the downloaded desktop app for Trello, but you can also use it online just at Trello.com. And that's the beauty, is you get access to this wherever you go. Even if I make changes here on the desktop app, it will change. It's all cloud-based. And so if I'm on the go, on my phone, with the mobile app, or on another computer, I can see it. So I'm just going to create a new board. We're going to call this board Buying a Home, assuming this is the business that we're creating about buying a home. Let's choose a nice background image. That's nice. And we'll just say Create Board. So when you create a board, this is all you get. So we're going to set up a couple lists. So right now we're going to just set up ideas, idea brainstorm. And then we're going to think about the type of content that we create. So as my business creating, teaching or about buying a home, we're going to create videos. We're going to also create articles. We're also going to do, let's say, podcast. And then we'll also do social media. All right. So we'll get to those later. I'm going to exit out of this menu so we can see our whole board. Now, those are the lists. Now we can simply click the plus sign to add a card. And so now for my brainstorm, I'm literally just going to start writing out all the ideas I have for someone who is interested in buying a home. But something that's going to help me is my customer persona. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in customer persona, and then with each card, you can actually open it up and add all kinds of content to it. So we can add a description, which I'm pasting my description of my customer persona. You can add links, you can share it, you can add images, you can write comments if you're collaborating, you can chat, all kinds of stuff here. I'm not going to go into that detail, but I just want to show you that now, for example, with customer persona, we can just open it up and see what our description is there, or add anything to it. And that's not necessarily an idea. It's just I can move this around, have it there just to look at. Next, I'm going to do is just click add a card, and I'm just going to start typing in ideas that I have. So if I was Mike and Molly and I'm interested in buying a home, and we know their pain points from before, a lot of unknown stuff, what can we create content about? Maybe we'll create content about when is the next recession coming? All right, what else would we need if you're buying a home? Maybe how to get financing. Let's see, what else do I remember from buying a house? Where to find a house? How about how to, now I'm thinking like more specifically, and this is just randomly just going at it, just all the ideas I have, how to use Zillow. What about maybe a comparison that might be interesting, like Zillow.com versus Redfin, or maybe it's just a general best online play. I don't know exactly how to call it, but right now, but best online website to search for a home. How about tips for hiring a real estate agent? How about just like the steps to buying a home, like a whole list? How about what to do in a competitive market? How about how much home can I afford? And then there's like so many details with it, like let's see, what insurance should I get? What is PMI, which is the mortgage insurance? So as you can see, I can keep listing out all of the ideas that I have just off the top of my head. And the next thing you want to do is start organizing them into different formats of content. So when is the next recession coming? Any of these could be really any of these formats, but you can start out with what you think would be the best format. When is the next recession coming? That might be a good article. How to use Zillow? That might be a good video. Zillow versus Redfin? That might be a good article. How to get financing? If you have a podcast, that seems like something you could get a great guest on to do an interview about that. Tips for hiring a real estate agent. Now that could be an article or a video. So if you want, you can put it both places. We can copy it. So if you click this little edit button, you can copy, and you can choose where you want to copy it. Or if you don't want to do it that way, what you might want to do is open up this card and just write a note, say something like make a video. There's another way that you can organize all this, or actually this would be write an article as well. Another way you can organize all this instead of having different boards is with labels. So for example, for here, we can open up and create a label. We can create a label for video, and we can make it a specific color so we can more visually see it. So now we have green as the video. Let's add this video label, so now we can reuse that. Articles, we can add, say, yellow for articles. And now this way, it's a little bit easier because if there's something we want to do a video and an article, we can add a new label. So we can do video and article. Okay. And then maybe our list are more of a, ideas in production, posted, scheduled, or you can do it in that sort of Kanban style. So that's what I would do with a brainstorm. Just first, initially, is just write out all the topics you can think of. Remember the pain points and the questions that you wrote out for your customer persona. I didn't list them here, but that'd be a good thing to do, is list out the pain points and then just come up with content that solves each of those pain points. If you have, if you do research, which we're going to be going over in the next lesson about these topics, or for coming up with topics, and you find inspirational videos or articles or content, you can just add links to it here in the description or in the comments, so that when it comes time to creating a tutorial on how to use Zillow, you can quickly and easily find that help that will help you make better content that way. So this is just a quick brainstorm tutorial. Just hopefully you enjoyed it. Now is your turn with your business and brand to do an idea brainstorm. Now, this is probably going to be the task that takes the most time out of anything that we've done in this class so far. So I really want you to pause before the next lesson and do a full brainstorm. Just every single idea that you have, write it down. If it's big, if it's small, if it's important, if it doesn't seem important, just write it down. We can always edit it later. We can prioritize. That's another cool thing with Trello. You can just simply rearrange these ideas in order of best to worst, and then you just work on the ones that are the best, the top priority. And just write everything down, and we'll see you in the next lesson.